Parents and educators, if the thought of police SWAT showing up at your front door or at your school feels frightening to you, we encourage you to take the next 5 minutes to learn how to talk to your students about a trend that we're seeing across the country called swatting. I'm Beth with smartsocial.com. Let's take a look at what swatting is and tips for every parent and educator to use in talking with your students about this trend today. In the basic form, swatting is when someone makes a prank call to emergency services with the goal of getting a large number of armed police officers to a particular address, like a home or a school. They're using various techniques to make the claim seem legitimate and hide their true identities. The callers claim an emergency, such as a bomb threat, a murder, or a hostage situation, that would prompt the local authorities to activate and send their SWAT teams. Swatting has been known for a while as a cyberbullying tactic used in online gaming and streaming services, but it has also recently been in the news across the country as people call in fake school shootings. Making false reports to emergency services is a criminal offense and is punishable by fines and or imprisonment. And in many states, it's defined as an act of terrorism. Not only is swatting a criminal offense, but taking the resources away from real emergencies can be deadly for innocent victims. The Cleveland, Ohio area recently was targeted by swatting at multiple schools. Channel 3, WKYC NBC's article about the events said the FBI takes swatting very seriously because it puts innocent people at risk. Let's hear from an expert from the Cleveland area and the Educators School Safety Network about the impact of these types of events in our community and part of the background of why they're happening.
There's problems with the anxiety and trauma that it causes to people in the school, students in particular, but also to parents who are hearing information and don't know what's actually going on.
Klinger says this isn't a brand new problem. Back in the 2018-2019 school year, her organization, the Educators School Safety Network, cited false reports as the #1 threat to schools. Districts need to be proactive with training on what to do, and the public needs to know this isn't a joke and carries consequences.
I think most specifically, I think it is also a technology and a social media sort of issue too, of people assuming that it's anonymous and they'll never find me and they have no idea.
These cases are still under investigation by multiple local, statewide, and national law enforcement groups.
Here's an example of another form of swatting where the police are called to an individual's house after playing online video games with strangers. From Fox 8 in North Carolina, their headline said, "What is swatting? Not the game you want to play with us." In the article, they tell the story about a video gamer who had police show up at his door from a false police report. In the article, they said, quote, "The victim believes he was targeted because of live streaming games he plays on the online platform Twitch." So parents and educators, what can you do to help your students from being part of the problem or from being victims of these types of swatting attacks? First and foremost, talk to your students about what is happening. If your students are mature enough, consider showing them examples of what has happened at other schools or to other online video game players, and talk about the consequences of fabricating an emergency and alerting dispatch services to help prevent them from carrying out this type of trend on others. To prevent your students from becoming a victim of swatting, talk about the importance of never sharing their personal information, like their real names or addresses, in online chat rooms. Remind your students that they can and should come to you or another trusted adult if other players online ever threaten them or talk about swatting other people. Parents, you can also consider using a VPN or a virtual private network if your students enjoy playing games online or live streaming to help safeguard your family from online predators. If you notice your student getting upset or angry while playing online games, consider talking with them about what is going on and consider professional help if you feel like they just cannot control their reactions to video game play. Parents and educator, if a student ever tells you they were threatened with swatting, contact your local law enforcement to report the threat. Ask your student to write down any information they can remember, like the user's name, when it happened, what they said, what game they were playing, or what live stream or video they were in, etc. Instruct your student to stop communicating with the other users immediately. We hope that swatting is not a topic that you or your students ever have to deal with. But seeing the reports around the country, we want all parents and educators to have an idea of what is happening. We all have the opportunity to talk with our students and help minimize the chances of this happening in our communities. please consider sharing the Smart Social resource with your community. Every week, we bring social media and online safety resources to parents, educators, and students at smartsocial.com. We prefer to talk about the positive ways students can use social media and be online to create their presence for their future. I'm Beth with smartsocial.com. Thanks so much for taking the time to learn about swatting today and how to teach your students how to be safe online.